The New England Patriots came into MetLife and put a whooping on the New York Jets. However, there were some positive signs to take away. Please talk me and many Jet fans off the ledge and tell me those positive signs.
Yeah, of course, there's always positive that come out of it. It's a young team, okay? And they got a lot of injuries, 15 plus people on IR. But I think the expectation levels, they want to see something positive, at least from the quarterback and the offense, being that there's some more weapons and there's some more pieces there. That didn't happen offensively, and we'll get into that. I think defensively, they played great. I think they did their job for the most part on the situational turnovers, where they held them to mostly field goals or punts. That's a positive for sure. I thought they played hard for 4 quarters. And again, not having your closer in Carl Lawson, I thought guys got to Mac Jones. He's not a mobile guy. I didn't think that was going to be a problem. They're able to sack him 3 times, but at least they're able to contain. They did give up a terrible run play where they attempted to tackle Damian Harris, who had a great run. But other than that, they pretty much locked it down and played well for the limited field that they had. And then from the offensive side, they ran the ball for 152 yards. Think about that, guys. I mean, here's a team that if you have a young quarterback, don't make mistakes, run the ball effectively, which if they averaged 150 yards every game, they'd be a top 1, 2, 3 in the league. And you get a good defense on the other side, you should be in the game. But as we all know, there were some other circumstances that took place.
Okay, so Becht, take me a little bit behind the veil, because we're not going to belabor the other circumstances that you mentioned, if I may use that phrase. But it is part of the team experience, right? And for all of the positives that you just mentioned in terms of the running game, the defense, that's a big piece of the puzzle. So as a unit, how do you move forward, continue to encourage your rookie quarterback, and make sure that we're trending in the right direction under our new head coach to kind of reverse course on those unfortunate circumstances?
Well, it does start with that, though. You have to start with the quarterback and make sure, listen, go through the mistakes, go through the issues that happen, and make sure that whether it was a lack of execution, it was a lack of focus, it was a lack of what you saw, whatever the coverage was, make sure those mistakes are corrected, because those plays will come back eventually. Those reads will come back eventually. That's about as good as a defensive secondary he's going to face all season long. So it's good to kind of get that out in the front first, early on in the season, and learn from it. And from there, that's where you'll kind of see, okay, how the young quarterback can handle. The one thing that's different from playing quarterback anywhere else and any other team is this market, the fan base, the pressures, the media, the stories that get written, social media, all those things you have to have blinders on as a quarterback, and you have to understand how to handle that. You have to understand that there is pressure to get back and be better the next week. And I'm just excited to see, okay, all the mistakes or reads or executions, and it wasn't just him. I mean, not all those interceptions were on him, but collectively as an offense, how they improve from it, how he gets better from it, and how he can correct those things. If he can do that, and I can see signs of that, that's a positive step forward, and I can embrace that, because I know it doesn't happen, in a week or 2 weeks. It happens in a season, 2 seasons. So again, just seeing how quickly he can bounce back from those circumstances.
All right, speaking of those circumstances, Zach Wilson had the football version of the golden sombrero. 4 interceptions in 1 game. Obviously, nobody wants to see that, but are the questions about having a veteran quarterback on this roster starting to rear its ugly head right now? We know this is Zach Wilson's team, for better or for worse. Is this going to be bad going forward?
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, listen, if there's a good guy out there, a backup quarterback that has legitimate starts in the league and can actually bring experience to the table and say, okay, I was in this situation, this is how it worked, this is how I made a difference, this is how I changed it, that's one thing. But if you're going to bring a guy that's played 10 years and played, 25 snaps in his entire career, there's no good there. The quarterback coach, the offensive coordinator, Mike LaFleur, they're in the room with him every single day, going over scenarios, situations, film breakdowns, watching other quarterbacks, a la Garoppolo, other, Aaron Rodgers, guys that do things in a similar offense, and say, okay, this is how we kind of did things. This is how they treated things. This is how you got to see it. And then when they break down the film of what they did against the Patriots, clearly it's all going to be there why you made those decisions and how you can fix it, or if it was the right decision. I mean, he made some good decisions in the game as well. So those are the things I think that they'll build on. Having a guy sit there that plays in his 10th year and really never played football, to me, is not a big deal. Do you want to have someone there, though, if you can find somebody? And this would be early on, because most of the good ones are either taken early, or if they're a free agent, they're going to get locked up. You weren't able to do that. Greg Knapp, God bless his soul, was that positional guy that worked with these guys that was going to be kind of those other quarterbacks combined. And unfortunately, he's not here with us right now. So they have to deal with the best of it, and they're going to have a quarterback coach and an OC there at all times in those meetings, looking at every film, every breakdown, every play.
Beck, we got to get to some futures presented by Caesar Sportsbook. But really quickly, I'm asking you to go really quickly here. Don't go super TV mode on me. How long will the honeymoon last in terms of Saleh and Wilson?
I mean, it goes on for the entire year. I mean, and it's a rookie head coach. I mean, they're learning every single week. We're going to see some scenarios that happen in the season that Coach Saleh wishes maybe he doesn't decide to make that decision in that situation. So both of them are it's a learning experience. Obviously, Coach Saleh has a great staff around him. He's going to continue to learn and do different things when that time comes, time clock management in those situations. But for Zach Wilson, I mean, look, it's a honeymoon. It's a relationship that's going to grow for an entire season. As long as the fan base and myself see improvement, especially after bad games, and we're going to have more than just this one, then that's when you say, okay, it's good, because they're learning, they're getting better, and we see signs of upward.
All right, sounds good. Like Kaz says, Mama said it would be games like this. All right, let's keep it moving though. Beck, while we got you here, we got to go over some NFL futures presented by Caesars Sportsbook. The worst odds to win the NFL championship go to the Jets and the Jaguars, who are tied at plus 40,000 in that category.
Okay.
Oh man,
I mean,
super
so
tough.
let's do the math. I'm not great. No, I was going to say, let's do the math. How many times does 40,000 go into $1 million? I don't know what that is, right? Is it, what do you make, about $100 or so? I don't know. Whatever, 25, no, something like that. $250. I'll take that bet if I had $1 million. I don't think they're going to go to the Super Bowl. So I'll put the money and take that craziness of that bet. I mean, clearly you're, putting $100 on them is great to win 40 grand, but that ain't happening either. So, hey, if you got deep pockets, there's a lot of people out there. Throw $1 million on them not to do it, and take your $250 and call it a day.
Hey, listen, if you want to spend $100 to support the Jets, just go buy a Wilson jersey, okay? Just there's better places to spend your money.
I like that.
Let's go down the hall a little bit in MetLife Stadium. Another 0-2 New York team, the New York Giants. Although they did lose a heartbreaker against Washington, Daniel Jones looked really solid, didn't turn the ball over. Did he take a step forward as the New York Giants signal caller?
Absolutely. I mean, he's the only guy that showed up offensively. I mean, you think he had to do everything. He ran the football. He threw the football. You got them out of trouble when things broke down. Where's the supporting run game at? Where's the offensive line, getting the run game going, whether it's Saquon or whoever the back is back there. You got to find ways to get some support for this kid, because he can't do it all. And I don't want to see him, having to run the ball and, getting 100 yards rushing on his legs. Now, the runs were great. They're open. He didn't take hits, which are great. But again, he's a guy that number one, the things that are the negative is you got to continue to protect the football. You're going to be put in circumstances where, unfortunately, Giants may be down in a lot of these games, and you're going to have to throw the ball in certain situations. You're going to have to protect it. And again, you look at those numbers that he had, they're not good when you're talking about fumbles and protecting the football. It's a work in progress. But again, you have to be peaking at this moment in his career.
All right, Beck, we got to pick up the pace. So we're now entering our 2-minute drill as we have a break around the corner. Giants showing poor judgment. Shout out to our producers. They're so clever. Obviously, much was made of the fracas on the sideline down the stretch, guys chirping at each other, so on and so forth. How confident are you in Judge at this point?
I mean, listen, if you're supposed to be the judge of the team and this hammer guy, let's get it going. Like control the team. Let's get it all worked out. You know, things happen, emotions go high. But again, just having your team dialed in and disciplined, if that's what you're preaching, you better sell it to me when I'm watching. You know, it's one thing, I watch this guy on the sideline. I think he's doing a good job. He's a good coach. But man, body language. We always criticize players for body language. When we watch this guy on the camera, we see curse words. He's flying around. He's yelling at somebody. Is there ever a sense of where we're coaching in that moment? And let's not talk about special teams as well. He's a special teams background. They had a lot of blunders on special teams, in particular the last play of the game where they missed it and they had the offsides penalty. So let's sharpen the toolbox there and get these guys focused in, because you had a chance to win that football game.
Yeah, you know, it's wild when Kenny Galladay is clearing up that, no, I was yelling at Jason Garrett, not the quarterback. And everyone's like, yeah, I get it. Quick question, Anthony, last thing before we get out of here. Lots of surprising 2-0 teams in the NFL. Cardinals, Raiders, Broncos, Panthers. Which 2-0 team is the most surprising to you?
Yeah, I think it's got to be Carolina, right? I mean, here's a team that I thought had a decent quarterback in Teddy Bridgewater, and he wasn't able to kind of get them over the hump the way they wanted to. But, you know, Christian McCaffrey's back, and they're a much better team. And Sam Darnold, I'll give him credit. You know, just a change of scenery was something that was going to help this kid get better, and it has. The Joe Brady system fits well for him. He's been very productive. He's protected the football. And let's not forget about the defensive side that's been dominant as well. Not a lot of people know his name, but Phil Snow, the defensive coordinator, I've been a huge fan of this guy. He's been around football for almost 40 years. He knows how to call and teach defense, and it's showing up on Sundays right now after 2 games.